listen to me. The notorious prodigy. I was told you know a lot about swordplay. I'd love to see if there's any truth to it.
Irrelevant. This madman, Koarek. He has completely reshuffled the cards. Now we not only have to deal with the High Ones, but also with him and his fanatics. However, there's also good news. You have probably seen it already. Physically, yes. And we also know how it works now, and how it can put an end to the cycle. It is easier than we thought. The beacon was constructed for one thing, to destroy the High Ones. Once reconstructed, infused with energy and activated, lit, as the Pyreans called it, it can banish the High Ones from this plane of existence. Immaterial, indeed. Essentially, they can be compared to the cold or to shadows. Omnipresent elements, yet we cannot touch them. Energy, if you will. However, there is a counterpart to each energy. Cold and fire, shadow and light. The High Ones and the beacon. Yes. Imagine a torch driving away the darkness in the moment it is ignited. This is what the beacon can do, except that the banishing will be permanent. Yes, as I said, it needs to be infused with energy before it can be lit. I take it you have noticed the 3 sockets on its base. They are what it draws its power from. Once they are filled, the beacon can be ignited and the High Ones will be undone, once and for all. At least, if the old writings are true. The only thing left for us to find out is what these energy sources are. But we are close. Give the Arcanists some more time and I will let you know if there's any news. In the meantime, get equipped accordingly. Some of the Neremes have landed already, and outbreaks of the Red Madness become more and more frequent as we speak. No, there are not enough, and we must keep the few there are in our possession, in case anything unexpected should happen. The only thing we can do to stop the madness is to destroy the High Ones as soon as possible. Well, it's only fair to tell you. You've always been honest to me, so I will do the same. Have you ever heard of the Night of the Thousand Fires? Between 8,192 and 8,202, there was an underground movement in Kira, called the Red Half Moon. They were brought into being by a group of intellectuals and philosophers who, under all the freedom of thought Saldrine granted them, started questioning the reign of the Golden Queen, and thus the Lightborn themselves. Saldrine saw himself as the god of knowledge, and accordingly he reigned his country. In Kira, no opinion is forbidden, which is why it is home to countless magic schools and universities, where people do nothing but discuss the reason for being all day long. An appealing thought if you hear it for the first time. But a cunning people isn't easy to rein. There have been more revolts and riots in Kira than bones in a graveyard, and the Red Half Moon was the worst of them. Correct, just as my son did. But other than him, they fought like cowards. Terror, dust crystals planted in the marketplaces, and assassinations, you name it. If they killed innocents, they blamed the Golden Queen, and if they killed her soldiers, they celebrated themselves as liberators. However, they never succeeded in putting her down, and neither did she in destroying them, which is why the court turned to the Lightborn for help. A division of the Holy Order led by me, a young keeper of barely 30 winters. None to be taken seriously. You know, not everywhere is the Order as present as here on Enderal, or as it once was on Narim. In Kira, we were ridiculed. I saw the Kiranian keepers who served the Golden Queen. A bunch of decadent gluttons who had dedicated themselves to the court's banquets rather than to the will of the gods. They were pathetic. A moon after our arrival, we received an anonymous tip on where one of the half-moon's bases was supposed to be located, in a small coastal village. As we entered it, we were greeted by the township's elders, and the villagers themselves had gathered behind them. You should have seen how they stared at us, as if we were plunderers. I should have seen by then that something was wrong. Yes, but if there was one thing the Red Half Moon was good at, it was sowing lies. According to them, we were nothing but butchers who executed everyone unable to recite the revelation word for word. That's what they wanted us to think, and they did a good job at that. A veiled person here, an archer on the rooftops there. I got nervous, because villagers or not, they bested us in numbers, and they had kettled us. Then a man seemed to charge at us, and I gave the order to draw weapons. It was just the spark they needed. No, not a fight. A massacre. The villagers had pitchforks and shepherd staffs, and we had shadow steel swords, let alone the fact that we were trained warriors. I realized that I had made a mistake a split second after it started, but it was too late by then. My men, they slaughtered them all, like pigs. At the end of the day, 300 people were dead, and only 10 of them were keepers. Have you ever been in a big battle? Even if my men would have stopped, the villagers were blinded with rage and panic. No. From the moment I gave the order, it was too late. Well, what better proof of the Lightborn's cruelty is there than a division of keepers who, out of pure wickedness, slaughtered an entire village, women and children included. If the people had already distrusted us before that, that distrust had turned into hatred, and nothing could have changed that, not even the Golden Queen's heralds. We set sail back to Enderal a week later. 2 years after that, the Red Half Moon destroyed itself due to infighting. Ironic, isn't it? Maybe. The Lightborn and the Grandmaster back at that time showed the compassion I wouldn't grant myself. But I learned one thing, and that is that I will never again let fears about my own life influence my decisions. What happened in Kira was the consequence of my own cowardice, and my unwillingness to give my life for a just cause. That will never happen again.
You're a foreigner, aren't you? I wish I'd have crossed the Red Sea once, or seen Kira, the
Oh, you're not from around here, are you?
Malfash's blessings. A southerner? Yeah, she did. Bit gruff, but she's a pretty thing. What'd you ask? Did she do something wrong? Come back anytime.
Uh-huh. Huh? What do you want?
Prophet, are you in there? Kirash, what? Why? What have you done?
Hard times these are. Hard times never change.
Watch your tongue, Shari. Be glad that the blood is already dry, or else you'd be nothing but a pile of bones by now. Forgive me. I just can't believe it. Anyone but Lashari? Yes, I know, Nea. But she was a good woman. We both know that we're not involved in this, so please tell me why you and Lashari wanted to meet up here? Were the two of you close? It's been a while since there was a man at Lashari's side. So why? Your gift. I see. Then who has killed her? This doesn't make any sense. Maybe the murderer has left a clue. We have to search. What's this? Let me see. Yes! This could be our clue. No, certainly not. But come to think about it, it doesn't really help us either. There are so many dust addicts in Ark, it would take years just to count them. Oh, by the name of the sun, I will inform the Order. Yes, you do that. But come back to the temple as soon as you're finished, all right? The Archmagister has found something out about those sources we need for the beacon, even though he paid a high price for it.
Me! close, Paul. Anyone?
Work.
I just don't see the fucking point.
Well, that's just how he is. Always talking hard.
Yes, of course you'd say that.
Light fades away at the end of the day. Dun-dun-dun.
Yes, you should go to the Whisper Wood and see what you can find.
What?
Move along.
Oh, you're here. I thought you were in the city. A machine that can banish these high ones. The mysteries of this world are endless, aren't they?
The funerals.
Ah, if it isn't the Prophet. What's wrong? You look troubled.
I still can't believe
Pathlessness,
that really happened.
wherever you look.
Brother,
Where is this supposed
such
to
a good
lead?
man.
I know. Shah Rim has already told me. I hardly knew her, but it's horrible. Different ideologies or not, she was a fine young mage, and her knowledge of the Pyreans was impressive. We need to find the ones who did this, and fast. But you probably already know that. Thank Malphus we just had a breakthrough with the beacon.
The disease. What happens before that? And how? How can one tell?
At least as far as the sockets go, yes. In the old tablets you found in old Dothu Grad, there's talk of black embers, which are supposed to be some kind of energy supply for the machine.
Long before it happened.
You don't say.
This is what we've been asking ourselves over the past few weeks, and then it fell like pelt from our eyes. The Pyreans were talking about the Black Pearls. Old jewels, sometimes known as Blackstones.
In him, only grief.
They appeared for the first time in the Golden Era, and every self-important noble literally fought to get one in his possession. Apparently they originated from Stormwind, the old city in the heart of Arctwind.
Maybe
They changed owners for decades, sometimes by violence, sometimes by gold. The whole thing only stopped when the owners took note of an undesirable side effect, if you like.
Flamelings and the apothecary. Find that out. I have to go now, brother. Walk blessed.
Everything has a catch, and sometimes this catch is even upside down. But the stones weren't somehow enchanted, if that's what you're thinking. At least not by any known magical means. Nevertheless, all of their owners eventually shared the same fate. Countess Catua from Nerim, for example, whose castle burnt down to its foundations. According to a survivor of this tragedy, she was to blame for that. He claimed that he saw her the night it happened, laughing hysterically and dancing in the dining room and summoning waves of fire all around her. She was not previously known to have any magical talent in her. Correct. Plus, all of them eventually showed similar symptoms of delusion, like those possessed by the Red Madness do. A peculiar coincidence, if you ask me. Not quite.
Those who owned a pearl tried to get rid of it, or lock it up somewhere safe, and eventually they fell into oblivion. Tell him your theory, Archmagister.
Yes, of course. We believe that the stones carry energy, pure, uncontrolled magic, and that the High Ones use them for their own purposes. Correct. The pearls' magic make their owners powerful, but the High Ones befoul them, so to speak. Like a poisoned potion. I know it sounds odd, but the parallels are too striking to ignore. The red shimmer in the victim's eyes, the slow descent into madness, and ultimately this irrational, destructive act of violence. That's what we thought too, but it seems we were wrong. Maybe the High Ones never leave our planes at all, even after the cleansing. Maybe they are even part of this world, just like the tides or the elements. And the death of the gods is only what really sets them rolling, so to speak. That's a question I've been asking myself since we first learned of the cycle. Who knows? Maybe they like for us to suffer. Or maybe they see us as we see ants, whose lives simply mean nothing. Or maybe the very concept of intentions is meaningless to them. That's what we think, yes. Nothing else in this world possesses that much raw power.
Which is why you will find them for us. No, because we know what we are dealing with, unlike those who fell victim to the stones. Imagine them as a powerful, magical sword. A fool won't know how to wield it and will eventually cut himself with it. A seasoned warrior, however, can use its power for his purposes. Which doesn't mean, however, that we will be careless with them. What we need is their energy. And once we have transferred that to the beacon, their shells will be useless to the High Ones.
Correct.
That's right. But we don't need all of them. The beacon has 3 sockets, and that is how many of the stones we will acquire. Archmagister.
I studied the history of the pearls as a young arcanist, and I think that my notes might give you some hints as to where you should start looking. Give me until tomorrow. By then I will have prepared the relevant excerpts. Just come to me whenever you have questions.
One day.
And hurry. I take it you have already noticed this, but Nerimi's troops are roaming our land and building outposts, and the Red Madness is also getting worse as we speak. Now go, Prophet. The sooner we find these stones, the better.
Yes. Malfashi, and our room's looking for you. It's good. We'll open up the room for you. And please, no shady business. We walk the righteous path in here and don't want any trouble.
Yes, always be to the wizard and see what you can find.
Ah, there you are. Magister Taurus has been looking for you.
Taurus? Why's that?
I don't know, but I think
Thou
it's
art my
probably
light.
a
Glimmer at the horizon.
Now look at that. You are the prophet, aren't you? That's what I'm here for. Take a look. Walk blessed. I am Taurus Flameling, Apothecarius spot. That's what I'm here for. Take a look. Walk. Blessed.
Now. Sure. You'll have to pay normally, though. As much as the Grandmaster favors you, metal and work don't come for free. Walk blessed.
As if they'd ever listen to me.
Yes.
Hear my words, O path-abiding people of this holy
Yes?
city. From this day on...
Fades away.
I just don't see the...
Oh, hello. I haven't seen you around here before. Just take a look around and tell me if you see anything you like. That depends. Some I get from adventurers, some from other merchants, and some I gather myself in old ruins and the like.
Get any younger?
Or should I say, gathered. Nowadays, you can't even set foot into a deserted house without getting eaten by lost ones. What sad times we're living in. Oh, a bit of this and that. Feel free to take a look.
How are you holding up? Any news?
Walk blessed.
No, not really. That is, yes.
Greetings. Sure. Farewell. Oh, walk blessed. Aye, sure. Take your time. It's not as if there's much to do down here anyway. Well, greetings. Aye, sure. Take your time. It's not as if there's much to do down here anyway. Well, walk blessed. Sure. Malthus bless your travels.
Hello. Really need that new herbal essence for my hair.
Hungry for arcane secrets? I have books, scrolls, potions, anything for friends of path-abiding magic.
From this day on, there's war. Without a word of warning, the pathless Nevermese attacked our city in an act of infinite cowardice. They had led their boar ships into our holy waters and landed on our coasts. And it is naught but blood that they are looking for. Blood, war, and misery. But as if breaking the 1,000-year-old
They always
peace
go
between
too
countries
easy
from
on
the
the
civilized
scum.
world.
They
also
always go too
desecrated the
easy on
Lightborn
the scum.
themselves. Be wary of their words,
Now
for they are
where
not
did
but
I
lies.
put
The
that?
Lightborn are there, as they have always been. And their guidance, the Holy Order shall crush the Nevermese heretics. Hear my words, O path-abiding people of
Walk.
this holy
Sure,
city.
take a look. Walk blessed.
From this day on, there's war. Without a word of